Now, Nico Williams has been offered to Arsenal. He's one of those players that I think Arsenal really wanted to sign. And even before they coming in through of Andre Bartha, the man who came and obviously did miracles at the club of Arsenal, the lad was wanted hugely by the club of Arsenal. So we are here to discuss Nico Williams to the club of Arsenal as he has been offered to this mighty club. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload anyhow on a daily. Rokani David is my name and hope you guys are really having fantastic fun wherever you are. And let's go ahead and see how things are really going to be panning out into the mix. Now, second video of the day here onto the Rokani Media Football, and FA Cup is on, games are still going on, and I told you by the end of today we'll be knowing who Arsenal is obviously going to be facing in the FA Cup, who Man City will face, and so on and so forth. And before we came in here, we've got two other teams through. Fulham has been knocked out by Southampton by 1-0. And Port Valley has shockingly knocked out a team known as Sunderland in there. Now, Leeds and Norwich are next, and then West Ham will play Brentford tomorrow. But I know by the end of today, we will be given the draws in there. So that is an update coming from the FA Cup, because I know very many fans of Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City watch this channel, and they are hugely waiting for who their teams will obviously go ahead and obviously face off. So that is it, and that's what you're really getting in through from the world of the FA Cup. But let's obviously get into what we call the this is what we call the Nico Williams transfer stories. I've always told you that the end of the winter transfer window marks the beginning of the summer transfer window speculation in there for you. Now, Nico Williams, who tells us first? Grammy Bailey. Arsenal are interested in Atletico Bilbao's Nico Williams, who has a release clause of 100 million euros. You understand? So, Arsenal are interested in Nico Williams, and that's not news, because for the past 2 summers, Arsenal has been chasing for the signature of Nico Williams. So, to me, it's not news. Now, what is the news? You get? The news in the news is what you're obviously going to be discussing right now. And the news in the news is that this is the news in the news, right? So, to me, this is the news in the news, right? And it reads that Arsenal have been told by intermediaries that Nico Williams is ready to reconsider a summer exit from Atletico Bilbao. The 23-year-old's shock decision to sign a 10-year deal at St. Mary's has not ended the transfer speculation, far from it. The contract includes a release clause understood to be in the region of 100 million euros, keeping suitors firmly on alert. The Spanish winger has been plagued with injuries this season. That is it. Now, the entire world was shocked when Nico Williams went ahead to obviously put pen to paper on what we call a crazy contract. You get? And when you look at Nico Williams, he's still young. You get? He's just 23 years of age. Now, what shows you that Andre Bartha and Mikel Arteta are hugely looking out for a player on the left side is the very many left forwards that Arsenal are being linked to. You know the list. I've always gone ahead to obviously say these ones. Ousmane Dembele, Bakola, Rodrigo, Anthony Gordon. Now, this guy we're talking about in particular, who goes by the names of Nico Williams. We've seen very many. Diomane from, I think, RB Leipzig. Very many have been linked to the club of Arsenal in as far as that position is really concerned. That shows you that Arsenal is interestingly looking in for that player. So Nico Williams is 23 years of age. I've always discussed him to Arsenal, and I've always told you why I think he comes in through and fits the narrative. He is a multi-dimensional player. He can play as a right forward. He can play as a left forward in there for you. Now, His contract runs down in 2035. He signed a 10-year contract at Atletico Bilbao, but people were complaining about him really signing a very stupid contract. I was like, maybe people need to obviously understand that a player cannot sign a contract of 10 years without clauses that do release him. You get? For example, look at Erling Haaland. You know the contract is signed. Same contract. I think he signed an 8 to 10-year contract at Man City. But don't you think that there are clauses that will let him go if at all he feels like he wants to go? So, what Atletico Bilbao did was simple. They're like, you are going to leave at like 50 million euros last summer, and we kept you here. And you are you are a born and bred of this club, you know, and it's you who have gone to tell you what you are. And I think they sat him down and told him, please, this is the only opportunity that this club will ever get to obviously make 100 million euros. And you are a pure profit. So, if you're pure profit, let's put this contract to 10 years such that it makes it easy for every club to come in through to pay 100 million euros. And for Arsenal, 100 million euros for me is nothing. That's like 85 million pounds, you know. And for a player like Nico Williams, 85 million pounds are really he's worth that amount of money. Though this season he has been disturbed by injuries, but he has not gone ahead to be an injury prone player. And even in February, he went ahead obviously get another injury that kept him out for 2 months, meaning that he'll return April in there for you. And you never know, maybe the player might be like, I'm thinking World Cup, because Atletico Bilbao might not be one of those clubs that might obviously go ahead and really compete hugely in the league and so many other trophies. But he knows that he'll make his milestone at the World Cup. That is Nico Williams for you. Now, intermediaries. This is the most important bit of it all. Intermediaries have come up and told Arsenal that the player is available. That's what the intermediaries have gone ahead, obviously come out and really say. You know, they've told Arsenal the player is available. You understand? The player is available for 100 million euros. Now, for Arsenal, they like the player, no doubt. Arsenal loves the player, and they've tried to sign him, you know, on several occasions. But I think the player has given them a no. And to show you to it that the player wanted to start this club, and his time to depart hadn't obviously gone ahead, obviously reach. It's because even the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Man City came for the lad, and the lad was like, I'm going to be here. I'm going nowhere. You understand? So, Nico Williams, this time round, I think has made up his mind, and his intermediaries now are the ones contacting Arsenal, sending them a message that, please, this player is really available. Now, Andre Batha knows to it that at Arsenal, no left forward levels up to Nico Williams. And I know he's a suitor of Nico Williams. Why? He was at Atletico Madrid. He could monitor all the players. And I had a chance to obviously see Nico Williams come out from all the academy games of Atletico Bilbao. You understand? So, that has given that has given Andre Batha a very huge analysis and report about this player. I tell you, if you throw Nico Williams into that Arsenal side, you know what happens. Having Bukayo Saka on the right, Nico Williams on the left, obviously this guy can cook. Any attribute that you would want from him as a forward, he has it. He's unselfish, he puts in the cross, he takes on people, he's aggressive, he's hardworking, and whichever team will obviously take him, I tell you, he will obviously be very productive in there for you. And I think the club of Arsenal is really blessed in a way that the player is available for now 100 million euros. Last season, if Barcelona and Real Madrid couldn't obviously cough out 50 million euros, now it has gone to 100, meaning that they can't come close. Unless otherwise, they sell very many players of theirs. But they can't come close to signing this lad. So, Nico Williams has been offered to the club of Arsenal. That is the story. And for Arsenal, they are really making huge money. They are still in 4 tournaments. Carabao Cup, final. FA Cup, they are into the round of 8. Champions League, they are playing Bayern Leverkusen, round of 16. And I know they will knock them out. And if they knock them out, the other round, they'll obviously be facing the winner between Sporting Lisbon and this Norwegian side, Bodo Glimt. So, looks like Arsenal is already in the semi-finals. You get, and that means money. Premier League, still topping the league. So, if you look at how much Arsenal is going to be making this season, it might be a record-making money, season for the club of Arsenal, I tell you. So, what does that mean? It means that they are really making huge monies. And in the due course of making huge monies, that means they can spend huge. You get? And they even have players to offload, meaning that Nico Williams will obviously come in through and represent for the club of Arsenal to the fullest. So that is the story right now. Nico Williams has been offered to the club of Arsenal, right? And very many Arsenal players are really worried, especially those who play on the wide left for the club of Arsenal, because they now know that they have a player who is really one of the best wingers in the world that will do the needful for the club of Arsenal. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Go into the comment section. Tell me your thoughts about Nico Williams' offer to the club of Arsenal. And will Arsenal take the offer of 100 million euros? Because he's supposed to be one of those players that Arsenal should sign immediately, right? So, your reactions are welcome in the comment section below. Second video of the day. More videos are yet to come. And maybe a live stream of the FA Cup draw later. Bye-bye.